Change could be all kinds of things going on. So bouncing back is getting back to where you feel like you're in a better place. Now, over the past few weeks, we've talked about all kinds of different things, dealing with stress, dealing with very big life changes, dealing with difficult conversations to have. And last week we talked about religious focus, changing the focus from, just, well, not necessarily religious. We talked about spirituality last week, but changing to the focus of getting what you need to get out of your spiritual connection, and revisiting some hurts, some traumas, and then coming back from that and using that to rebuild yourself to be a better version of yourself. So with that being said, this episode that we're on today is to talk about what to do to kind of get to a restart, a hard restart. Many of us have dealt with some challenges financially because of COVID, financially because of maybe relationship changes, or even you move, because a move can switch a whole lot of things up for you. Now, with that being said, when you're looking at, hey, I need to get back to or get to a different place than where I started out, what do I need to do to start? Well, first, look at where you are. Where are you right in this moment? What is it in this moment that you're saying, yes, families change, could be all kinds of things going on. So bouncing back is getting back to where you feel like you're in a better place. Now, over the past few weeks, we've talked about all kinds of different things, dealing with stress, dealing with very big life changes, dealing with difficult conversations to have. And last week we talked about religious focus, changing the focus from, just, well, not necessarily religious. We talked about spirituality last week, but changing to the focus of getting what you need to get out of your spiritual connection, and revisiting some hurts, some traumas, and then coming back from that and using that to rebuild yourself to be a better version of yourself. So with that being said, this episode that we're on today is to talk about what to do to kind of get to a restart, a hard restart. Many of us have dealt with some challenges financially because of COVID, financially because of maybe relationship changes, or even you move, because a move can switch a whole lot of things up for you. Now, with that being said, when you're looking at, hey, I need to get back to or get to a different place than where I started out, what do I need to do to start? Well, first, look at where you are. Where are you right in this moment? What is it in this moment that you're saying, yes, I want to hold on to this piece? Yes, this piece has helped me. This has been a strength of mine. Now, I want to remind you that many times in our life, we develop these strengths, and I like to call them temporary strengths, because it doesn't mean this one thing is going to hold, we're going to have to hold on to that, and then that's all we have. That temporary strength, what it is that, kind of to give you a visual picture, it's the jumping off point for, or your pushing off point even, to move to your next step. In the stage that wherever you are in life right now, whatever you did to get there, to even maintain right there, it doesn't mean that that's all you have. But when you look at it and say, hey, I overcame this adversity or this obstacle, and now I'm ready to move into this next stage of life, into this next set of goals for myself. But this thing was such a strength. Some people call it, may say, well, because I'm so resilient. Oftentimes your resilience is really holding you on that step to push you to start on that next step. So the resilience that you have will continue to grow. So look at resilience as a way to say, you know what, that's my stepping forward point. That's my strength. That's been the thing that has been able to hold me during this time of difficulty, is my resilience, because I refuse to give up. I refuse to allow whatever the circumstances are to hold me in this spot. I'm at this spot. I'm okay with this spot right now, but I know this is not all that I have available. In looking at your own resilience, look at also with that resilience, what about it is giving you the ability to say, I know that there's more for me. I know that there's more in me. I know that I can get farther than where I am now. Because many times that is also an uplifting of yourself and a push for yourself to say, you know what, let me see what this next step is. Now, with that being said, I want to give you a statement or phrase that we all may have heard or even used, and that's stepping out on faith. That step out on faith. We have to look at what is it that that's causing us any concern with that step. And stepping out on faith, meaning you don't know how, when, where, but you know success is out there for you. You know, progress is out there for you, but you don't know how it's going to get there, when it's going to get there, what it's going to take to get there. You're just saying, hey, I'm waking up every day, and whatever I got to do to move forward, that's what I'm willing to do. That faith step causes you to have to, for one, continue to push your resilience, but then it causes you to push yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually to say, you know what, this little boundary that I put around myself, there's more to me, and there's more to my experience. There's more to what I want out of life and out of my life experience. So I need to figure out a way to grow this boundary. I often tell people when they're in that stage of, hey, I'm trying to get my bounce back going, I'm trying to transition, I'm trying to transcend, I'm trying to step out on faith. When they are saying that, we have to be mindful of what that's causing us to do, what it's calling us to do. And that means to look past wherever you are in the moment. Now, wherever you are in the moment, there may be limited finances. That's something that, many of us know, understand, have heard about if you've not experienced it. But that can be a major barrier for a lot of us to say, well, dang, I don't have enough money at this point. I'm not, bringing in enough income for me to get to whatever this next step is. Now, first and foremost, logically, let's say you don't have that financial stability at this point. But what would you need to do in order to develop that, in order to create that for yourself? Logically, you would say, well, heck, I need to figure out a way to make more money. Well, yes, figure out a way to make more money. And would that be A, go get another job, like a second job? B, get a whole career change and go into another career that could possibly be more money? Or would it be looking for grants? Sign up for grants, then you don't have to pay it back, because I'm not going to ever encourage anybody to go get a loan, okay? So if you find that, even if you do some type of crowdfunding for whatever your dream is, that's an option. But give yourself creative options, because creativity is the other, it's kind of like the gasoline for everything else that you have in you. That creativity will help you identify ways to get to those things that may be lacking for you. So as we were talking about financially, let's say that's what it is, that is a barrier for you or a limit right now. And you need a certain amount of money. So you go and find a grant. You write for that grant. The thing is that you will always have to be mindful of and to work against is allowing any doubt, self-doubt, and or fear to come in as you move forward. Okay. So challenging fear at every step, every thought, every interaction with people is going to be so important when you're trying to find out which your when you're trying to realize what your next level is for yourself. Addressing that fear also causes you to have to think about, kind of like how we talked about last week, what in my past has happened that it has been a limit or a hold. What in my past has happened that causes me to even doubt my ability to have a decent bounce back? What in my life has happened that has caused me to think, you know what, I don't even deserve this. I I I don't, I can't do anything with this. So that is another reason why I wanted to kind of introduce the concept we talked about last week, to get yourself in the mindset of challenging yourself to move forward. Now, logically, when you are using your creativity, which, yes, those two don't go together, but I'm going to explain how they're connected, especially how they go with having your bounce back together. Logically, you have to look at whatever the facts are for you. This is my goal. These are possible obstacles. This is my anticipated outcome. Look at that. So when you look at all those things, you're going to logically put things in order to where you can get to whatever the outcome is that you're wanting. Whether that outcome is to have a complete career change, so therefore you need more education or more training. Whether it's, hey, I want to move from one side of the country to the other side of the country. Whether it's I want to retire early. Whether it's you want to adopt all these children over in whatever country, whatever your ultimate outcome is, you have to do those logical things. You have to put those things in order so that way you can prepare. And when you have that preparation set out, it lets you know or have a checkpoint for what your next step is, what your next mini step is to get to whatever that outcome is, which is the huge step. Now, in putting these things together, that's where the creativity comes in. Logically, yes, you're breaking everything down. Creativity helps you get from mini step to mini step to mini step to the final outcome. That's why it's very necessary for the way you think, the way you feel, your connection with others, your spiritual connection, for it to be in a clear, forward-moving place, okay? And when I say a clear, forward-moving place, that means we as people are always ready for being put on, what do you say? I'm trying to get my thought together on how to put this out there where it's very clear. We can be our own worst enemies, for lack of better words. So with that being said, when we can be our own worst enemies, we have to be forward thinking and clear minded in everything that we do, because we can talk ourselves out of what's for us. So I'm gonna pause right there. Now, during this, I want to tell you guys, make sure you listen this Friday from 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, where they'll be playing Christmas music. There's no specific featured artist, but there will be Christmas music. Also, every Sunday through Friday from 8 p.m. to midnight, please tune in and listen to Whisper Softly on the Batchelor News Radio Network. Also, if you're interested in advertising on the show, again, email us at labachelor40@gmail.com. We'll take a brief break right here.
Now you can increase your yields by using Conklin's Guardian slow-release nitrogen additive. Guardian holds your nitrogen in the root zone where it's needed over a longer period of time. That, in return, can reduce your nitrogen rates. That saves you money. And whether you want it in a dry or liquid formula, Guardian helps in reducing groundwater contamination, too. So save your money and be a good steward all at the same time by using Conklin's Guardian.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So right before we went to break, I started discussing with you all the need to be clear within self. and to be clear in your interactions with others. Now, with that clarity, there is the focus on what does it mean to be clear with self. That means whatever your goal is, you of all people should not talk yourself out of it. Okay. Usually the talk that we give ourselves is based on what others may have poured into us, and therefore we doubt ourselves. Why would you, in all actuality, be a hindrance to yourself? What do you get from that? What's the purpose of that? So not only do you give room for self-doubt, but you also give room for fear. And when you give room for fear, that's fertile ground for that little, very tiny, minute seed to come in and grow. We all have dealt with weeds in some way, shape, or form, whether it's growing up and you were pulling weeds out of your grandma's yard or garden, or if you have a home and you're pulling weeds out of your grass that you had fertilized and manicured and all that and everything. And the steps to get to that awesome outcome, you yourself fill it full of weeds, and it sucks up the nutrients, the fertility of being able to get to that. Now, the other thing is clean your interactions with others. Now, this is something that's very difficult, and this is something that I encourage even my clients to do, is determine some people need to be cut out of your life. And when I say some people need to be cut out of your life, I encourage people, clients, and I do it myself, to sit down and take an inventory every year, at least once a year, of the interactions you're having. If those interactions fall into a category of difficult, hurtful, they don't bring you any benefit, any positivity, nothing's coming from it, but you're constantly pouring out and giving out and handing over and this, that, and the other, cut it off. Especially if it's been a cycle for you and that person in your interaction for any amount of time. Now, let's say, because we're coming to where people are starting to interact again, and before maybe it was difficult, but now it seems like it's smoothing out. If you're in an interaction like that, where it's kind of like a bumpy road, talk to the person and let them know, I feel like this is a bumpy interaction for me. So these are the boundaries that I need to put in place for me. We talked a few weeks ago about setting boundaries, especially with family, even with friends. But setting those boundaries are so important, because it not only helps you, but it helps you have a clear forward movement in that interaction. And therefore your energy is not clogged up and locked up because you're frustrated because they have gone against the boundary that you didn't even tell them, because you haven't even established it within self. So do that. Have those talks if needed. Now, if it's a person that you've had several years and it's always been kind of a drain to interact with them, why are you holding on to them? Why do you feel like, oh, I've got to keep this interaction going? If you're getting absolutely nothing from it, what's the purpose of holding on to it? Now, some people say, well, that's kind of harsh. Is it harsh that you're saying, I need this time and this energy to be able to get to my goal? That's a positive outcome. Or is it really harsh for you to say, I'm gonna hold on to this person or this interaction and possibly neglect the opportunity I have to get to this goal? Because guess what? 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, when that person has sucked all the life out of you and all the energy they can take, and you still haven't gotten to your goal, guess who's going to be frustrated? You, not them, because they'll be sucking life from somebody else by then. So now with the positive relationships you have, those are the folks you can go to, you can talk to, they can keep you encouraged, they can keep you forward moving. Everything is wonderful. Keep those people. Even allow those people in on the steps that you're making.